Meantime, a class action lawsuit hitting an AI startup backed by some of the biggest names in tech is accusing Anthropic of copyright infringement and stealing the work of hundreds of thousands of books. Deidre Bosa is here with the latest in today's Tech Check. Deidre.
So, Kelly, this lawsuit is really just the latest, as many other authors, journalists, record labels, artists, creators, they try to wrestle back control of their work. At issue is the way that generative AI chatbots were trained, vast data sets that often include copyrighted material like books, articles, videos, etc. The technology, of course, moves fast. Legal frameworks, those move much slower. In this particular case, 3 authors say that Anthropic used pirated versions of their works and others to teach Claude, that's their chatbot, to respond to human prompts. Now, Anthropic, in a statement, says they're aware of the suit and they're assessing the complaint. But other groups have sued Meta and OpenAI over chatbot training. And this isn't even the first Anthropic copyright against Anthropic. The Gen AI companies have adopted this age-old Silicon Valley strategy, move fast and break things, which does raise the question, how do you go back and put the genie in the bottle? OpenAI is now inking content deals with media outlets, the latest Condé Nast. Perplexity debuted a revenue-sharing model for publishers after accusations of plagiarism. But we're also, Kelly, starting to see market solutions for market problems. A 2-year-old startup called Story just raised money at a $2 billion valuation. It uses blockchain to prevent Gen AI chatbots from taking creators' IP without permission. Its founder tells CNBC that it turns IP into IP Lego, so it can embed licensing and royalty sharing terms into small contracts. This could be one solution. But the point here, Kelly, is that this industry is moving really quickly, and there's a lot we still haven't figured out.
Not just that, but more people are realizing, well, all of these models were trained purportedly for research purposes, at least going way back to OpenAI's creation, and then became for-profits whose content is based on information that they don't own. So this is a massive problem at the heart of this whole technology.
That is such a good point, that many of these companies began or even are still labeled as nonprofits, right? So the intent was not to charge users for it, but now they're making hundreds of millions or billions of dollars off of other people's work. It's not just, the startups, but Google and Meta are going to deal with this problem. And it's interesting, too, when we talk about an Anthropic, remember that it's backed by both Amazon and Google. So they're kind of taking the fall. How does this affect, does it eventually affect the companies that have put a lot of money that are mega caps also dealing with
and
these
call
problems?
Into question, for instance, what OpenAI's business model. Well, a lot of startups, they start cheap and then they can raise prices. But if it actually has to pay more as it gets more legitimized for legitimate content, I don't know, what that means for.
Yeah, well, I wonder about some of these content deals, right? Like the ones that OpenAI is signing. Is this the publisher saying, OK, we don't have a choice, we might as well get some money for our content? But, this new startup Story is interesting because this sort of puts the power back potentially into the publishers and to the creators' hands by saying, they can actually have control of this with technology, using technology to fight technology to sort of give back control. Could be an interesting development.
Yeah, Deidre,
if it works.
And I'm sure they'll come up with something. If nothing else, it will just be trying to cut off, access entirely unless they get paid. Deidre, for now, thanks. We appreciate it. We'll continue to follow more chapters in this saga. Deidre Bosa.